Welcome to another English Solutions for Business and Life video. Today, we will be looking at Unit 4 from the Global Intermediate book and focus on the grammar section. First, let's look at the present perfect and the past simple when they are used together and when we use each of these separate. We will also look at the present perfect with yet and already, how to use these two words and what they mean when we use them with the present perfect. We will also look at the models of deduction. When you're uncertain about something, you can use these, and we will look at the different models of deduction. And finally, we will look at how to use the words somebody, anybody, nobody, and everybody. So let's begin. Let's look at the present perfect and how it's different from the past simple. We can use the present perfect with have and a past participle verb. For example, in affirmative sentence, we can use it like I've finished. I've, or the VE part, is a form or a conjunction of the verb to have, and finished is the verb to finish in past simple. Now, a negative sentence could be I haven't finished. We change the auxiliary verb to have to the negative form. And then a question. In a question, first you have to put the auxiliary verb to have, and then the subject, in this case you, and finally the past participle word. Now, when do we use these present perfect to talk about past events? Well, we use the present perfect to talk about events that happen at an unspecific time in the past. For example, people have bought these paintings for millions of dollars. People have bought his paintings for millions of dollars. That's an action that happened at an unspecific time in the past. Now be careful, because if it's a specific time reference, such as a year, people bought these paintings in 1906, that would be the present simple. You cannot use a present perfect with a specific time in the past. Now, we also talk about experiences up to the present, and we use the present perfect for that. For example, listen to this. He has lived in France for years, meaning that he still lives there now. He has lived in France for years. This sentence talks about an experience that is still happening up to the present. Now, a similar form would be to talk about finished actions that are relevant now. For example, an action that happened in the past and it's still relevant today, right now, at the time of speaking. For example, I've forgotten her name. It's an action that happened in the past, but it means that right now I don't remember it. You could also say, I haven't finished my food, meaning that I still have food right now. It's a finished action and that happened in the past, but it's relevant now. Now, we also use the present perfect with the words ever and never. Ever and never. Here we have a couple of examples. Have you ever been to Arizona? We are not asking a specific time in the past. We're asking for just this experience at any time in your life. Have you ever been to Arizona? You could say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. Now, another sentence could be, I've never been to France up to now, meaning that it's an experience up to the present. I've never been to France. Now, let's take off the never part of the sentence. Never. If we take it off, we're left with I've been to France. It's a positive and affirmative sentence. But notice that it's different to I've gone to France, meaning which means that we're still in France. I've been to France means that it happened a while ago and now we're back to another place that is in France. But I've gone to France or they've gone to France means that they are still in France up to now. So they are different. They have different meanings. Make sure don't not to mix them up. Been and gone. Now let's look at how to use the present perfect with yet and already. We normally use a present perfect with yet or not yet and the word already. Now we use it with yet when at the end of a clause, and in questions when something is expected, to ask if something that we expected has already happened. For example, have you taken out the garbage yet? Have you taken out the garbage yet? That means that we expect the person to take out the garbage. So we're asking if it has been done. Now, we use not yet to say something that hasn't happened, but that we expect to happen in the future. Something that hasn't happened, but is expected to happen in the future. For example, my package hasn't arrived yet. My package hasn't arrived yet. Now let's look at the word already. We use already to say that something happened earlier than we expected. It is usually in the middle of a clause, but it can be used at the end of a clause for emphasis. For example, I've already had lunch. I've already had lunch. Meaning that it has happened earlier than we expected it to happen. We can say, I've had lunch already. Meaning that, well, giving it more emphasis. Now let's look at models of deduction. Models of deduction tell us how certain or uncertain we are or you are about something. So we have different levels of certainty. How sure we are of something. We're certain it is, we're certain it isn't, and then there is the middle. For a high level of certainty, we use it must be, or something must be. Then in the middle, we would say it may, could, might be. And then we can say a high level of certainty that it isn't. It can't be. So, following this logic, must is the opposite of can't. Must be is the opposite of can't be. Let's look at an example. If we're talking about John's wallet that we found on the floor, and we're sure that it's John's wallet because it has a picture of him inside, we can say it must be John's wallet because it has a picture of him inside. Now, if we don't know, we're not sure, we could say it may be John's wallet, but I'm not sure. It could be John's wallet. It might be John's wallet. They have the same meaning. So you can use all of these words, all of these three words. Now, in this case, if we see the wallet and, for example, it's pink color and we know that John's wallet is brown, we can say it can't be John's wallet because John's wallet is brown and this one is pink. This is just an example. So, just to emphasize the different levels of certainty with models of deduction. Now, let's look at the words somebody, anybody, nobody, and everybody. First, let's look at some examples and then we will look at their descriptions and when we use each of these words. Starting with somebody. Well, we use these words when we don't want to refer to a specific person or when we don't know who the person is. For example, we're talking about someone, but we don't know exactly who it was. For example, let's look at this sentence. Will somebody help me? Will somebody help me? Here we're using a question, but we can also use somebody for affirmative sentences and questions that expect a particular answer. In this example, will somebody help me? We expect the answer to be yes. Now, there's another case. For example, anybody can come. And will anybody help me? Here it's different, anybody, because anybody is usually used in negative sentences, and questions when we don't know what the answer will be. Like this one. Will anybody help me? We don't know the answer in this case. And it also means it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who. For example, in this case, anybody can come. It doesn't matter who comes. So anybody can come. This is an example. Now let's look at the next example. Nobody answered the request for help. And everybody must attend the meeting. In the case of nobody, nobody means no people, no one. And everybody is the opposite. It means every person. They are used in affirmative sentences when we're sure of something. Nobody answered the request for help, meaning that no people did it. Everybody must attend the meeting. Every single person must go to this meeting. Now, we use all of these pronouns, somebody, anybody, everybody, and nobody, with a singular verb. Nobody answered, everybody must attend, help, can come, and so on. But we can use they to refer back to them. For example, somebody sent me some flowers, and they left this note. When we're repeating this subject, we don't repeat the word, we can just say they. And these rules that we have just seen can apply for words that end with thing or where. For example, something or nowhere. Anything and somewhere. And so on. That's pretty much it for this grammar section in this unit. I hope you understood, and if you have any more questions, make sure you ask your teacher about them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you on the next video. Thank you.